So let's really take this game into perspective. There's not much else to say minus the fact that there's clear reasons why the Eagles lost, and there's no excuse to make. Um, there's a lot of blame to be put out there, mostly on Doug Peterson's part for that first half of the game. Just the fact that they only managed to score 3 points, and they could not do anything else but that. Yet Wentz still managed to throw for over 300 yards and a touchdown. And the fact that the defense did their job, but you still could not capitalize off of that. Wentz's fumble in the first drive of the third quarter really just said how much this game was going downhill for the Eagles after everything that happened. A lot of penalties were just a little bit iffy. A lot of PI penalties that weren't there. A holding penalty because Jimmy Graham and a cornerback from the Eagles tripped. Like, literally, you see them kick feet and they fall. There was no hold. So where's the penalty? It's things like that. And then a forward lateral that you don't call correctly. That you need Doug Peterson to challenge in order to get that call right. That's just a poor job on the referees. Everything else was just poor execution on the Eagles. And poor play calling by the coach. The game plan was to play more conservative, apparently, as it seemed, and it clearly didn't work out because this team is not a conservative team. They're aggressive. You cannot be playing that kind of football against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle while it's the 12th month of the year. That's just not how you're going to win football games in Seattle. I give props to Carson Wentz and Nelson Agholor. They were the only two that really tried to win this game. They balled out. You didn't make any turnovers. Instead, you committed a couple. One of them was really whatever because it was the end of the game. The other one was crucial because it was should have been a touchdown, but it was a great play by the defensive lineman of the Seahawks to punch that ball out before it hit the end zone. But besides that, it's just the first half. If you really look at it, you should have scored like 10 points. You should have been with the Seahawks all the way. And even with those missed points, you still managed to stick with them. But then you still just cannot make the proper play call. You cannot make I don't know. Wentz, he made some magic with that 51-yarder to Agholor, but it wasn't enough to lift this team back up because Russell Wilson is just too good. The Seahawks, even without Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor, and with the returning Byron Maxwell getting torched, they are better. And there's no clear-cut best team in the NFC. The wake-up call of this is not only that the Eagles need to improve their strategies a lot better headed into games like this that have playoff implications, it's that there's just nobody that's really number one. The Vikings could be made number one now because of the way that they have been playing defensively in their 8-game win streak. The Rams, you can't really say much. They lost to the Vikings. The Saints lost to the Rams, and they've lost to other teams, though they have beaten the Panthers, who are also in the playoffs, as well as the Eagles, or as of right now that are in the playoffs. In the end, there's not much to say about who's in the playoffs and who's not. But from this game forward, the Seahawks deserve to be in there, and the Eagles need to be a lot better as far as game planning and decision-making on the field. Because this is the second time in the same amount of years that Doug Peterson has done poorly at managing a game in Seattle. And Carson Wentz is doing what he's been told, but this time around, you can see the frustration, and you know it's not good to see frustration when you're a good team that is struggling to play against another good team. You know that's not good, and you see the frustration. You see him slamming a helmet down, but you don't change anything. This is something that needs to be brought up for Doug Peterson, because right now you're 10-2. You are still at a very great chance of being the number one seed, but against the Rams, they have a really solid defense and one hell of an offense, especially led by Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, Sammy Watkins. You need to step up and show up. And that game plan for the first half, I really swear to God, I've emphasized on this a couple of weeks ago. All 4 quarters, you need to play a complete football game. You cannot be awake for 1 quarter, then not another one, and then 2 quarters later be awake. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you later.